Hello everyone, so patch 11.17 is now live and the new Delve belt is now available, and there's also a new assisted combat feature and also a single button rotation feature that has been added to the game as well. I'm going to talk you through all of those three and what the numbers are for all of them as well. So the Delve belt, it is something that you can acquire right now from just following a short quest line and doing a few delves, and it has a few different effects that you can unlock. So you can literally just, once you've got it, you can click it to change the effects on the go. And you do need to unlock these by going into certain delves and unlocking it that way. So I'm not going to tell you in detail how to get the belt and everything. You can just follow this guide here or just follow the quest line. It's really quite simple. I will also link this Wowhead guide in the video description. But these are all the effects anyway. The effect that you get by default is charged bolts, and that is the effect that you want to use on single targets because it's by far the best on single target. It is pretty much locked in for raid as well. I used this effect on all of the bosses in the raid because I don't think any of the other effects even come close to this one in a raid setting anyway. So charge bolt for single target and raid, and the ones that you want to use in M+, in my opinion, would be critical chain or electric current. You're going to want to sim which one is best for you in multi-target, and on single target as well, I suppose, is also important. For me, personally, with my character in arms spec, actually electric current was simming best for me. So Archie, he actually did some sims, and this is what he found at the base item level. So charged bolts for him was 1.9% better than his non-delve belt, I take it. And critical chain and electric current was slightly better as well on 5 targets. So this side here is arms, this side here is fury. I also ran some sims. I only ran one for arms. I did actually run one for fury as well, but the results were kind of the same anyway, so I'm just going to go through arms. So this is just an M+ spec sim, so the sim number is maybe lower than yours because you might be simming for pure single target in the pure single target build, but I'm just checking with my arms M+ build here. So as you can see here, a non-delve belt, my previous belt, is quite far behind the baseline item level 691, and I also simmed with 701 electric current and critical chain, which are worse than 691 single target charged bolts. At 701 item level, charged bolts is that much better than baseline, so 27 for me. So you know, it does get a little bit stronger per item level, I guess, per upgrade. And it says also here on the article that you can increase its item level 5 times up to 701. It starts at 691, ends at 701, so I presume you upgrade it by 2 item levels per stage. So this is for single target, right? And this one here is for AoE. So as you can see, the top option for me is electric current. The second best option is critical chain. Third best option is to use a non-delve belt because the other option I simmed as well was the charged bolts, right? So charged bolts, it is just for single target. So the secondary stats is better than the charged bolt effect because, well, it only hits 1 target. This is an 8 targets 5-minute sim, which is quite unrealistic. I just wanted to sim it in AoE to get an idea of how it looked in AoE, basically. So which one should you run in, say, M+ then? For higher overall, you definitely want to do whichever one sims highest in an AoE situation. For me, it's electric current. For others, it might be critical chain. It probably depends on your gear. But one very compelling argument to not use the charged bolts one, even though it's a lot stronger on single target, is that it can break CCs. So let's say you're CCing a caster so that you can you know, kill off some casters first before adding the CC'd caster to the pack. Charge bolts has a high risk of breaking that CC, and that might cause some issues. I've heard I can also ninja pull, which is also a really big problem. So I would recommend never using charge bolts in M+, because that sounds very problematic. So at least that makes our decision very easy. Just use either electric currents or critical chain for M+. Moving on. So I talked about the assisted combat and single button assistant. So the single button assistant is literally, you can put this single button thing in your action bar and then just press that button all the time. It doesn't cast avatar. It doesn't cast like off GCD abilities. The abilities it casts is only the ones that are listed here. So all you need to do is just press this button and avatar, and pretty much nothing else, I guess, to do your general rotation. The downside is that the single button assistant makes your global cooldowns 25% longer. So it's like you're playing with less haste, basically, permanently. I actually tried this on dummies. On a 4-minute dummy test, I did 1.81 million DPS with my M+ spec with this single button rotation. And when I did the same test without the single button assistant, I did 2.15, or it was maybe 2.18, but yeah, quite a big difference in that regard. Obviously, if you don't know how to play arms at all, or you just can't play arms for whatever reason, maybe it's worth using then. But or maybe you just want to chill and not have to think about buttons at all. Just use the single button assistant then. But yeah, definitely you're leaving a lot of performance on the table if you're using this instead of a proper rotation. So the numbers here, thanks to Archie again, by the way. He did this sim with Arms Slayer and Arms Colossus in single target builds, I presume. So Arms Slayer, the proper rotation with the sim that he did was 2.8 million DPS. But if you use the assisted combat, which is the one that tells you which button you should be pressing next, and you follow that perfectly, you lose 4.5% DPS. But if you do use the single button, you lose 22.5% DPS compared to what you can have. And you can see that the Colossus one also, it starts at 2.685. If you use the assisted one, you lose 9.2, so you go down to 2.542. And if you use the single button thing, you lose a massive amount again, because that GCD penalty is just really, really big. It looks similar for Slayer Fury as well, by the way. So, yeah. It is probably nice to use if you're just feeling lazy, or you don't feel like you need to put the effort into learning the class, I guess. Maybe you're just playing as an alt or something and you just want to take it chill. I don't know. Anyway, definitely if you want to push the highest numbers possible, you do need to learn the game yourself and press your buttons yourself. But I think it's good that they added this to the game. It makes it a lot more accessible. Also, I noticed with the Colossus one, for example, because I noticed here the difference between Arms Colossus and Assisted Colossus is kind of big. And immediately when I was doing the single button rotation, I noticed that the game was prioritizing Overpower over Mortal Strike, almost always, which is not the case. It should be prioritizing Mortal Strike, not Overpower, when both are available. But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's all I got for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna make another video soon because there's been a lot of news about Season 3. So there's new tier sets, the tier mogs are also revealed as well. There are some class changes as well, although not that much for Arms and Fury. There are some general warrior changes, I guess. But we'll talk about all of that in the next video. So look forward to that, and I will see you next time.